So not a big surprise, the turnover there, but what significance does it have, do you think?
Well, 48%. He needed 45 to make it in the first round. Clearly, there was still a lot of opposition to the idea that Cristina Kirchner is on that ticket. She's the vice president. Massive corruption. They tossed her on her ear precisely because the economy did very badly under her administration. And if you think about what's happening across South America right now, it's anti-corruption that's driving so much of the popular mood. So even though she wouldn't have won if she were on top of the ticket, she understood that. But the fact that she's there and she's going to exercise power makes a lot of people very uncomfortable.
It's interesting you say it's anti-corruption as opposed to pro-worker, because what's going on in Chile right now, that's middle class feeling they got, as I understand it, was originally an increase in the fare on the metro.
3%.
Yeah.
That's right.
But look at what's happened as a result in Chile.
Yeah, it's a question, in Chile, it's a question of fairness. It's a sense that the system is, we've heard this before in the U.S., rigged against the average Chilean. And, that you're not doing enough for us. Not that we're starving, but that there's a social contract. And we thought our kids were going to be better off. And now we don't feel it. We don't see it. And that's led to the biggest demonstrations they've had in Chile since it's been a democracy. Mm-hmm. That's quite something. And it does mean that in the upcoming elections in Chile, you're more likely to get support for the far right and the far left. Very similar to what you have in another advanced industrial democracy, the United States.
And so to what extent are the causes, I mean, we have Ecuador as well, with real problems in Ecuador as well. I mean, forget about Venezuela for the moment. Mm-hmm. To what extent are these common causes, or are they idiosyncratic country by country?
They're obviously idiosyncratic in the sense that everyone has their own grievance. In Ecuador, it's an indigenous movement. They're very angry about the way that fuel subsidies were being taken away from them. Once they started demonstrating, the president Morena put it back and said, okay, but now they have broader concerns, and now labor is coming after them as well. I mean, every country you look at, both in the region and around the world, Lebanon, it was a WhatsApp tax, but fundamentally, these are all people that feel like the system is not working for them, and it's the establishment in office as well as the elites that they're connected to.
And you have to put it against a bracket of global growth or lack thereof. Because when everybody's getting richer, somehow it can paper over a lot of these differences. But if people think it's not growing the way it was, that really puts pressure on the system in all sorts of ways.
Softening economic growth. I mean, we've had now, since 2008, the most robust recovery in any recession recent history. And now we see the IMF saying, actually, we're expecting 2020, 3% growth. That's going to hit the emerging markets a lot harder than it's going to hurt the United States.
You say IMF, it takes us right back to Argentina. What are they going to do with the new president and IMF? Because they need the IMF, but they don't like the IMF.
They're not going to be happy with this government one bit. I mean, the reason why they were unwilling to extend the additional $5 billion to Macri, the former president, right, who was just defeated, is not because they didn't like him. He was doing everything the IMF wanted. But, as a friend of mine actually put it, like, if you're the bank and you've got a known arsonist that is about to take over the house, do you extend the payments? Yeah. And the answer is no. And that's despite the fact that Trump was pushing for more money for these guys. Yeah. Boris Johnson was pushing for more money for these guys. I mean, Macri was really liked by the people with influence and cash. Yeah. But ultimately, they know what's coming down the pike, and this is going to be very, very difficult for this government.